My name is Sierra Smith. This is going to be my work ethics video assignment for American government. The CRN number for that class, I wrote it down, is 16049. So a little bit of a background of me. Originally, I am from South Florida, and I moved here 4 years ago with my fiance and daughter. I did attend college right after high school and dropped out the first semester. I did not think I was capable of it, didn't set goals for myself to complete. So this is a big deal for me. I am the first in my family to go to college. And after 10 years of being out of high school, I realized how important it is to have something more. And not only that, but to set those goals. And now more than ever, I appreciate it. So I have written down in front of me the 10 work ethic traits that I think as an individual people should have, not just in a profession. And going into the career path that I am kind of going by, next semester will be my last semester at Columbus Tech if everything goes as planned. I will graduate with associates in general studies. I did that on purpose and took core classes so that I can transfer to Columbus State University, where I will have to make my final decision on which career path I choose to take. My top two that I really am having a hard time struggling with is to pursue human resources or to stick to my lifelong passion of being an educator and going for elementary education to one day be a future educator in Georgia. So that decision will come soon enough. So because I'm leaning more towards the education program and I feel like it's just my calling to be a teacher, I'm going to stick with that career path in my mind while answering and relating these work ethics to a career path. So we're going to go with elementary teacher. So the first really important work ethic trait that falls with that is appearance. As an educator, as a teacher, how you show up for work is your presentation to your class, and it represents who you are. Showing up looking like a hot mess really doesn't set the bar high for your students, especially with any class, but especially with younger students. You are literally helping their minds grow and teaching them the ropes, especially in elementary school, because you're introducing what school is basically. So showing up to work in a professional, no inappropriate attire is super important, especially for children. That's why the code of conduct is in place for numerous schools and is a great resource when doing that. But appearance is key. Not only that, not even just for your students, but you're representing the school. No school's going to hire somebody who doesn't take pride in themselves. So it's really, really important. Appearance is a big key factor. Attendance. Teachers cannot call out every day to hit the beach. When you call out in any job, it puts the job on the back burner. Things do happen, and though there's guidelines in place for that reason, but to call out just to skip or not grade papers is unacceptable. It's important that you're there because the whole school relies on you. If you're not there, now a substitute needs to be found to take your place. Not only that, but it hinders whatever lessons are being worked on and the way the students are used to learning. As a teacher, they become used to you. They know your teaching skills and whatnot, and they know what you expect from them, and it becomes more of like a relationship with your students. So if you're not there, it's really hindering you as a teacher, the school as your workplace, and also the students who are the number one in who you're teaching. So attendance is really important to be there. Attitude. I think attitude in the education field is so important, and one of the most important things that a teacher can have. You need to be approachable. Not only are you teaching lessons for curriculum, you're also teaching life lessons. You're setting the tone And, not every child has the best home life. Maybe somebody needs somebody to talk to, especially with children. And I find that after taking psychology is that children will, act out or have different ways of letting somebody know that they need help. So having a positive attitude and being approachable is so important in any job, but especially with children. So having a positive manner, being bubbly in the morning, get kids excited to learn, find what makes kids tick, and really going with that is super important. And I find to be very rewarding, but also very important in general for a teacher to have. Character is another important one. Character is important not even just in the workplace, but having integrity, being honest, doing the right thing when nobody's looking. That's so important, especially as a teacher. You're teaching your kids to have these morals, like follow this moral code as an adult, because one day they will grow up. So establishing really good character, is very, very important to teach your children, to teach the children that you're teaching, to teach the children that you're teaching. Also to have that in a faculty community, because it makes you trustworthy. Not only that, it makes you a better team player for the group. And good character represents a school and a school system really well. When you have good character, when you have good attitude, when you have attendance, appearance, all these traits, you're representing yourself to the top, but not even that, you're representing whatever workplace and whatever profession. You are that statistic that shows how great it is, in my opinion. Character is important. Communication, another showstopper. You got to be able to communicate. You got to be able to, basically express yourself, be respectful, but also, take heat and take criticism and listen. I feel like as a teacher, it's so important. Teachers teach, and it's important because material needs to be covered, milestones needs to be met, goals need to be met. But also communicating is so important, but also listening, and listening to the demands and the learning techniques that your children are calling for, that they express. Communication is key in any profession. Nothing can be done without communication, and it doesn't matter if you have every work ethic trait there is. If you can't communicate, especially in the workplace of your choosing, it's not a great foundation for that workplace and for yourself. Communication is key. Also, again, teaching students to communicate is important. Like I said, some kids will act out. You need to be able to teach them that there are ways of communicating instead of, acting out or whatever the case may be. But communication is key. Also, communication falls into teamwork among faculty. And having an organized system and a schedule, which school is all about schedules, it's important to be able to communicate those means. Cooperation is also extremely important. Learning to take, criticism and, understanding to agree to disagree, but also picking and choosing in what aspect that is. So cooperation is also really, really important, especially in that workplace. I'm going to say it's wrong. Organizational skills. I probably totally butchered that. As a teacher, you have to be organized. You can't be throwing papers all around and just, having a ball. You got lessons to plan. You got lectures to plan. You got papers to grade. You got multiple classes. Hopefully, as an elementary education teacher, I'll have one stable class. But hey, who knows? Maybe middle school, you start getting a rotation type schedule. You have to be very organized. You have to follow your schedule. You have to, stick to the plan, have a plan, just like having goals. It's really, really important to be organized so that goals can be met, because as a teacher, our number one goal is to get that material to a student, have them know it, understand it, and can use it. So being organized is super important as a teacher. I've gotten super organized. I am a list maker. So I'm sure as a teacher, I will make a list and I will cross off my list as I go. That is how I do everything in my life. That's how I do my grocery shopping. That's how I get things done in the day. Making lists that are, appropriate, that are obtainable, and also making room for when things need to come into that list. So it's really important being organized in an education field. Productivity, so important. Everything's important. Productivity is so important because you are getting whatever grade level you're teaching to students. They need to know all the material. There we go. They need to know all that material that goes into that grade level so that they are well prepared and equipped for the next level that they hopefully get promoted to. So it's really important that those milestones are met, that material is understood, not just handed out, but understood and relatable, so that students can better benefit from that material. But it is so important. You can't be a first grade teacher and all your students fail because you didn't teach, because you're too busy messing up with attendance and not showing up and going to Panama Beach. It's so important. They all work off of each other. They all, it's like a ripple effect, all these work ethic traits. So it's so important that productivity is met. You can't get any productivity done if you can't, follow through with other work ethic traits. Respect. It is so important that respect goes both ways. Not just students respect teachers, but teachers understand that students deserve respect as well. I do believe, especially as a parent and the parent in me, that students deserve respect, but they also, it's not just a freebie, it's not just handed out. It needs to be mutual. So teaching students to respect and teaching them that trait is done through showing them that respect and showing them how it's earned and how it's lost and so forth. So respect is very important. Also, having respect for your principal, the vice principal, understanding the respect of the PTA and every group that goes into an education system, into a school. It's really, really important. Also, with elementary education, you have parapros, paraprofessionals. So that's also really, really important, to respect everybody and to teach your kids how to respect by showing and giving respect. You can't be the pot calling the kettle black, or whatever that saying goes. And last but not least, teamwork. Teamwork makes the dream work. As a teacher, you're not a teacher of your own school. Unless, you are, but you're normally part of a whole system, a whole level, tons of, work employers that are your coworkers, and you're just one in that bunch. You're one in the Shark Tank. You're one of the guys. So it's really, really important that as a team, especially in a school, everybody's on board with new procedures, new protocols, new ways of handling things, new ways of teaching things, and basically understanding that and incorporating that into your teaching. But also, covering for a teacher and volunteering. I can just see myself, because I'm that PTA mom that's like, let me bake cookies. As a teacher, volunteering, taking the extra time if possible, picking up slack, really having each other's back. I feel like in any work profession or any career, you will develop, there's a teamwork in everything. I used to work in a doctor's office, and if one of us messed up, the whole rest of us, ripple effect. It's all a ripple effect. And even though you think you might not be part of that teamwork, or that doesn't affect you, it affects everybody and affects the company in a whole. If a teacher's slacking or not there, or whatever the case may be, it affects all in a whole. So it's really important to make, teamwork and be a part of that team. And also teaching your students, also right back to teaching part, teaching your students to do the same thing. It's important to learn and, work in a team. Personally, I prefer to work alone just because I like my style and the way I like to do it. But I also understand how important it is to work in a team and I can be a very big team goer. So those are the 10 traits. 15 minutes, I hope that's not going to mess me up, but like I said, these go hand in hand as an individual, and it's not just your work profession. So it's really important to, you know, have these in every day without work. But that's my goal and my insight into being an educator. These are how I would incorporate these. They are very dear and very important. So, you know, with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and end this video. Thank you so much for watching. Bye-bye.